Okay, so we are asked to graph this parabola. How we know it's a parabola is we only have one variable that's squared. So if both variables are squared, then it's either a circle, ellipse, or a hyperbola. And we've talked about how to tell those apart. Hyperbolas and ellipses both have something divided by their squared parts. And a ellipse is a plus, a hyperbola is a minus. So those are kind of how you tell them apart. But a parabola stands out because it's only half of one. Only one of it is. Now we're used to standard parabolas where the x is squared, but now we also will be squaring the y. And then we'll have the sideways parabola. Standard form, so you're going to want to put in standard form. Standard form says this number out here is always got a 4 in it. So I'm going to rewrite this. And you pull a 4 out. 4 times 3 x plus 2. So I haven't changed anything, but I always pull this 4 out. And this number right here, your book calls it C. And C is going to matter for being able to find our focus and our directness and all that cool stuff. So you need to find C first by rewriting, by really just pulling a 4 out. And then whatever's left, that's C. So in this case, C is 3. Now, where is my vertex? Well, my vertex is at -2, -4. I'm just pulling it right here. We flip the signs just like we do in all the rest of the conic sections. Okay, so I'm going to start a graph right here. And so I'm over here at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. There's my vertex. Okay. Now this is going to look something like this. How do I know which way it opens? Well, C. If C is positive, it opens in the positive direction. So in this case, that's towards the right. If C had been negative, it would open the other way, in the negative direction. This also holds true for if it was vertical. If C was positive, it opens up. If C is negative, it opens down. I can find my x and y intercepts the same way I found everything else. So to find this x-intercept, I set y equal to 0, and I get 16 equals 12x plus 24. And then let's say I have to solve. So -8 equals 12x. Divide by 4. X is negative. Well, that's a 2. I take a 4 out of that, and that's a 2, and that's a 3. -2. Okay, obviously I don't draw very well. So this goes more like that. There we go. -2/3. I would actually probably, I was talking about what my C meant. What I would do if this is me is I would graph the vertex, then I would graph the intercepts, and then draw it in so I know how fat it gets. And then to find the y-intercepts, I do the same thing, only now I'm going to set x equal to 0. So coming back up here, I have y plus 4 squared equals 24 because 0 plus 2 is 0. And then I would take the square root, so it's plus or minus 4 square roots of 6. So -4 plus or minus 4 square roots of 6. And I could crunch those decimals to see approximately where it landed. Okay, so we've found that. We've got our graph drawn in. Now we're going to use C, which in our case is 3, to find the other pieces that we might be asked for. So the focus is always kind of come forward on this line. You're going to go forward, C. So in this case, 3. So I was here at 2, 1, 2, 3. Right here, my focus is at 1, -4. My directness backs up C. So I go 1, 2, 3, and I draw a vertical line right here, and this is x equals -5. And this is the same way it'd work if it was vertical. It was just now it'd be y equals because I'd be going horizontally behind it. You can always throw extra points in if you're looking at this and going, I don't know, something seems funky, throw some extra points in it. Domain and range. So the domain, the x values would start here at -2 and go forward. The directness doesn't count for domain and range. And range is all reals because there's nothing stopping. It's just going to keep getting wider and wider as it goes out. So hopefully this helps you with the steps for a parabola and what you're looking for in this standard form. Now, when you have a vertical with x squared, there's no reason you can't do that normally. Use the formulas you learned back when you first learned to graph them. With the quadratic, all that fun stuff. You can simply do that. The only thing you'll need this for in those is you will need to find the directness and the foci often, and to do that, you will need that C value, so you'll need to make sure you get it into standard form. Unlike all the other ones, the other three all have 2 foci. This only has 1 foci. So when you see a parabola, you only ever have to find 1 focus instead of the 2 you've been finding for hyperbolas, ellipses, and circles.